All right, guys, welcome to the training. This is Kenny Cannon here. In this video, we're going to talk about the box and close method. All right, before we get started, I just want to tell you this is the most powerful way to close deals. If you're focused on qualified prospects, and you should only be focused on talking to them, you should be able, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to close every single one of them. Now, are we going to close 100%? No, we're not. We're probably going to close, if you're good, in the 70% range, if you're average, in the 50% range, if you're a little bit below average or just getting started, probably in the 30% range. But that's still really, really good, okay? When it comes to, let's define what a qualified prospect is before we get into this actual method so you understand what I'm talking about. A qualified prospect is somebody who already wants, needs, or desires what it is you're offering, number one. Number two, they have the authority to make a decision. And number three, they have the ability to make a purchase. So they already know, let's just use an example, right? You're selling search engine optimization. They're already looking for it. They already know they need it. They already know they want it. Their business needs it. They just haven't decided who to buy it from yet. Okay, your job as a salesperson is not to convince someone they should buy your stuff. Your job as a salesperson is to convince somebody that they should buy the stuff they already know they need from you. And it's different, okay? So that's number one. They already know they want, need, or desire it. Number two, they can afford it. They can, if you're selling SEO and it's $5,000 a month and you're talking to a nail salon in your local area, they're not going to be able to afford it. So that's not a qualified prospect, okay? You either have to adjust your fees or you have to adjust your audience, all right? So they have to be able to afford it. And number three, they have to have the authority to make a decision. If you're selling something and you're talking to a secretary, they don't have the authority to make a decision, okay? This is one of the reasons why if you're familiar with the insurance industry or the real estate industry, or you've ever had a real estate agent come to your house or an insurance agent come to your house, or you spoke to a mortgage broker or something like that, they'll say something like, when they're booking an appointment with you, they'll say something like, when is the best time so that, you and your wife can sit down and talk about this with me? Or, when are you both going to be there, right? Your husband, the husband and the wife. The reason why they want that both people there is because they understand that in order for the decision to be made, all parties must be present, okay? The authority is established. Want, need, desires is established before the meeting. Ability is established during the meeting or before the meeting. And authority is established if all parties are present. So you have to make sure that you're focused on qualified prospects and qualified prospects only. If you do that, there is absolutely no reason why somebody can say no to you once you use this method. They can't say no to you. Does that mean you're going to close everybody? No, it doesn't, because you're going to screw it up. All right? Just like I screw it up, just like everybody screws it up, we're going to screw it up. We're not going to do it perfect every time. Nobody's perfect. All right? I screw this up. I've been doing this for 20 years, using this method for 20 years. And I screw it up every day. All right, so you're going to screw it up too. Everyone's going to screw it up. But the point is, if you do this the right way, effectively, there is literally no way that somebody can say no to you if they're a qualified prospect. Okay, so let's get to it. Number one, this method can be used to close any qualified prospect on any deal at any time. I'm going to run through these really quickly, and then I'm going to show you the method, and then I'm going to come back to these slides, and I'm going to give you examples, okay? Because this is probably not going to make that much sense to you right now. I just kind of went through all this with you. As long as it's a qualified prospect, when you're selling stuff, the product doesn't matter, the service doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the process. If you use the right process, you can sell anything. Selling houses and selling cars, same exact thing. Selling offline marketing stuff and selling insurance is the same thing. Selling stock and selling whatever. It's all the same. Boats. It's all the same stuff. Okay. You sell a TV and a pack of gum. It's the same thing. The psychological process that happens in somebody's brain when they're buying something like that or getting sold something, it's exactly the same. So take the product out. Take the service out. That doesn't mean the product or service can be bad. I'm not saying that. Product or service has to be the best you can make it or the best it can be, right? But I don't want people to say, oh, well, this is fine in the, legal industry, or this works in the stock industry, or this works in the, consulting industry or the SEO industry or the web development, but it'll never work for me because I'm a insert your industry that you think it's not going to work in, okay? That's BS. That's an excuse. Sales is sales is sales is sales. The product doesn't matter. Take it out of the equation and just focus on the process. But we're going to go through examples of this so you understand it. In person, it works 100% of the time. There's absolutely no way in person that somebody can get out of this. Once you box them in, which is what I'm going to teach you how to do here, once you box them in, they cannot say no to you. Psychologically, emotionally, logically, here's the thing. When you use this the right way, okay, it doesn't make emotional or logical sense for them to say no, all right? Now, before you use this method, there are plenty of reasons why they would say no, and they would leave or they'd hang up on you or whatever. There's plenty of reasons why, right? I can't afford it, which they would make them not a qualified prospect. I got to talk to my wife. I got to think about it. Whatever it is, I got to shop other places. Whatever it is, there's plenty of reasons why they would say no to you. But once you use this method, all of those go away in one shot. And they can't say no and then justify it. It's impossible. They can't do it, okay? And you'll see why in a second. Again, but I want to point out this 100% number. Does this mean that every person you talk to is going to buy from you? No, because you're going to screw it up at some point. Just like I screw it up all the time, just like everybody screws it up all the time, it's going to be our problem. But the thing you have to remember is this. If you employ this method and they walk away, that it's your problem, not theirs. And if it's your problem, you could fix it. If it's a prospect problem, you can't fix it. But if it's your problem, you can fix it. So if you employ this method and somebody walks away or hangs up on you or whatever, understand that it's your issue. You have to work on that part of the equation that you were on when you lost them and just get better next time or, whatever. And a lot of times when you get really good at this, you'll find out that you'll know right away. Like when I screw it up, I know before I'm even done screwing it up that I lost the person and I screwed it up. And I don't have to fix anything. I just know I did it. Oops, whatever. Move on to the next one, right? Not a big deal. So yes, 100% of the people that you use this on should say yes to you. It is impossible for them to say no to you, but you are going to screw it up a lot, just like I do, just like everybody does. So not everyone is going to actually buy from you, but there's no reason why they shouldn't, okay? So here is the wording of the box and close method. All right, this is how it works. So this is right after an objection was thrown out, whatever it is. Okay, so let's use an example here. So somebody comes to me, I'm selling cars, right? Somebody comes to me and they say, yeah, I showed them the car, drove them in the car, and all that stuff. We're working numbers. I'm at $350 a month, and they say, yeah, I like the car, want, need, desire, right? I can afford the car, affordability. They're a qualified prospect. I'm a single guy. I'm the only one making the decision. Authority, right? Those three things have to be checked off. And they say, but $350 a month, I saw it at another place for $325, and I'm just not comfortable paying. I can afford it, but I'm just not comfortable paying $350 when I saw it at some other dealership for $325. What we're going to say to them in response is we're going to say, so basically, Joe, you're telling me that, and I'm just asking this so I'll make sure we're on the same page. If I could get you that black Honda Accord that we drove, that you loved, that you sat in, that we worked the numbers on, the car that you loved, for $325 a month, you do the deal right now? Is that right? Okay? That's the wording. Now, if you have to listen to the way that I'm saying it, right? I'm not saying, let's say the other person, the prospect says, $350 a month's too much, $325, I saw it somewhere else, whatever. I'm not saying to him, so basically you're telling me that, and just so we're on the same page, if I can get you the same car for $325 a month, you do the deal right now. Is that right? I'm not saying that, right? What I'm saying is, okay, you saw the thing at another place for $325. So basically what you're telling me is that, and I'm just asking this so we're on the same page, if I could get you that black Honda Accord that you liked, and instead of the $350, it was the $325 like you saw at the other place, the same car that you liked, the one we drove in, everything else, then if I could do all those things, then you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? Now, what happens here? Okay, two things. Either they say, well, yeah, that'll be great. And believe it or not, that happens a lot. That happens. I cannot tell you how many times, I didn't sell Hondas, but I can't tell you how many times I've been in that exact situation and closed the deal. Hundreds of times when I sold cars. I use this close on every car deal I did, probably 90% of them, right? A lot of times they'll say, Yeah. Because here's the thing. If it's a qualified prospect, they already know they want it, they already know they need it, they already know they desire it, whatever it is. They already know they can afford it. All that stuff is already there, right? The authority is already there. They need the car. They need the apartment. They need the house. They need the web design. They know they need it. They've budgeted out money to do it already. You're on the phone or you're in person with a decision maker. So when you get to that point, a lot of times when you ask them to buy it from you, when they say no, they're not BSing you. They're saying no and giving you a reason because that reason is really what's holding them up. Okay? When you get into the BS part, when someone says, let me think about it, or give me some time, or I gotta talk to this person, whatever. When they say those things, that's usually a prospecting issue, not a sales issue. And what I mean by that is somebody's telling you they got to think about it because they don't really know if they can afford it. Or somebody's telling you they got to think about it because they got to talk to their partner. Or somebody's telling you they got to think about it because, or they want to shop another place or whatever, because they're not really sure if they want it or they need it yet. They still have to go through that process. What does that mean? That means they're not a qualified prospect and you shouldn't be talking to them, right? Want, need, desire needs to be established. Authority needs to be established. And ability needs to be established before you enter the sales process. This is part of the sales process. Want, need, desire, ability, and authority is part of the prospecting process. Two different processes, okay? Can they happen at the same time? Yes. Can you go from never heard of the person before, don't know the company, don't know anything about the person, to a closed deal in 15 minutes on the telephone? Yes, you can. But you have to understand that part of that is spent prospecting and qualifying, and part of that is spent selling the deal and closing the deal. It's two separate things and you can't mix them. Okay? So when I get to this point in the deal, I already know beyond the shadow of a doubt they want it or they need it, right? They can afford it easily and they're the decision maker. If I don't know those three things, I'm not saying these words. All right. Once I know those three things are established, and I obviously presented the whatever the deal is, I went through my presentation and I asked him for the order once, and he said no. He gave me a reason. Once I understand all that, then I go here. Okay. So I just presented the deal to him. Whatever it is, it's a house, right? Just presented the house to him, did the walk around. He loves the house. His wife loves the house. His kids love the house. He likes the pool in the yard. He likes the deck outside. He loves that there's a basement. $350. Everything's great. Only problem is, let me try to think of something. Only problem is he doesn't like the paint on the walls. Right? Stupid thing, because he could just paint it. But I'm just making something up, right? He doesn't like the color of the walls. There's wallpaper on the walls, and he's worried about that because he's got to paint it. Okay, so basically, Mr. or Mrs. Johnson, what you're telling me is that, and I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page here. If I could get you this house for the $350 that we talked about, and I can have the current owner remove the wallpaper for you and clear the walls off so you can just come in and have it painted, if I could do that, then you'll put an offer in right now. Is that right? Okay, see, all I'm doing is solving the main issue that they have and closing the deal. Now, what you have to understand here, I know most of the people that watch my stuff and take my training stuff, business owners, right, self-employed or whatever. So a lot of you have price control, all right? And I'm not going to say most of the time, because it's not most of the time. It's, I would say probably maybe 30% of the time, something like that. A lot of the time you're going to have, this is going to be a price deal, right? So you're selling a watch to somebody and they're like, oh, I like the watch and it's great, but $200, I could probably get it for $175 online. Well, if you have price control on that watch, if you're selling that watch on Craigslist and you have price control and you could drop it to $175, the easiest way to close the deal at that point is say, so basically what you're telling me is, and I'm just asking you so we're on the same page, if I could give you this exact watch that you like, the one right here in front of us, for $175, you don't got to wait online to get it shipped to your house or whatever, you'll take it right now. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, here it is. Give me the $175. Bye. Right? Very simple. So what's the other thing they could say? They could say no. Right? Very obvious. So I could go through a thing with someone. They could say car's $350. I say the car is $350 a month. They say I saw it at another dealership for $325. So I'm not comfortable paying $350 for it because I know I can get it at the other place for $325. I say, so basically what you're telling me is that, and just so we're on the same page, if I can get you the exact same car that we just drove in the color that you like and everything that you like, that car right there, instead of the $350 for the $325, you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? No. Right? They're going to say no, and they're going to give you a reason. No, I want to show it to my wife first. No, I want to drive again just to make sure that I like it. No, I still want to check with the other place. No, whatever. Okay? Let's say, no, I still want to check with the other place. Okay? So basically what you're telling me is that, just so we're on the same page, if I could prove to you right now that no matter what you do or where you go, I will be able to match and or beat the price that you're going to get at any other dealership, you'll buy the car right now. Is that right? If they say yes, the deal's closed. If they say no, you do it again. Okay? So, no, I still wouldn't buy it because I really wanted a blue one, and the one I saw is black. So basically what you're telling me then, Joe, is that if just so we're on the same page, if I could get you that car that you just drove and you loved for the $325 that we talked about, and I can prove to you that we'll beat any price at any dealership in the area, and I can get that car only in blue, though, that's the color that you want, then you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? No, I won't do the deal right now because I want to bring it to my wife and make sure she likes it. I want to, show it to her. So basically what you're telling me then is that, just so we're on the same page, if I can get you the same car that we just drove in blue, because that's what we talked about, for the $325 that the other dealership did, and I can prove to you that I can beat any price out there, and your wife loves it, you'll do the deal. Is that right? Yes, or no, I want to, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with excuses, and I'm kind of boxing myself in here, right? I don't know what else I could say, okay? The point is that we're solving all the problems. Now, you have to understand that there's common sense involved in this, right? If I am sitting down at a deal with somebody, and let's say I'm selling search engine optimization, right? Or web design, it's some digital thing. And I walk into a roofer's office. I had an appointment with them. I sit down, do the presentation. They like the presentation. They want, need, desires established, abilities established, authorities established. Everything's good. And the person says, I really like it, but I want to run it by my technical guy first. He handles our website stuff. So, you're going to do a redesign. You'll work with him. And I just want to, run it by him first. Okay. I'm going to say to him, so basically what you're telling me is that, just so we're on the same page, if we present this to your web designer or your technical guy and he loves it, you do the deal right now. Is that right? Yes, I will. Okay. So now common sense comes into play. Now I say to him, let's get your web guy here, let me show him everything, and we'll see where it goes, right? So the same thing goes with the car example, okay? If I'm selling a car and I say to the person, so basically what you're telling me is that and just so we're on the same page, if I can, show this car to your wife and she loves it, you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? Yes. Okay, good. Let's do this. Let's throw a dealership on the car, a dealer plate on the car. Let's surprise her. Roll up in a new car at her new job. We'll put a big red bow on the front of it. Let's take her for a ride right now on our lunch break. And if she loves it, we'll bring the paperwork with us. We'll sign the deal right there. And we'll be done. If she hates it, we'll come back and we'll do something else. How's that sound? And we get in the car and we drive to the person's work. Okay? I've closed deals in parking lots, all the time. It's not that big of a deal when I sold cars. Very, very common thing when one of the spouses are working, to pull up to the spouse's office and just beep the horn and be like, hey, we're here in the new car. Come out and take a look at it. Very common. All right, so all we're doing is solving the main issue, closing the deal. If they say no to the first part, we're solving the issue again, closing the deal. If they say no to the second part, we're solving the issue again, closing the deal, and so on and so forth. Eventually, I'm training you on this. I'm giving you examples off the top of my head. I can say anything I want, and I'm running out of things to say no to. Okay? Think about somebody who really wants the web design or really wants the rep management or really wants the Facebook ad program or really wants whatever it is that you're selling. They really want it. They really can afford it. They know they need it. They have the authority. They own the business. They could say yes or no right now. They're really into what you're doing. they're not going to have that many excuses. Once you overcome one or two of them, they're going to agree to buy it most of the time. Okay? So now, there are times, like I said before, that we can easily screw this up, right? So let's say I'm in the car dealership again, and I say, so basically what you're telling me is that, just so we're on the same page, if I could get you the same car that you just drove in blue, like you said you wanted, for the $325 that the other dealership said, then you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? Yeah, I'll do the deal right now. Okay, good. I walk up to my manager's office. Dude, we can't do $325. I bought him that car out. $350 is like giving away money. It should be $375, but I mean, $350 is, I'm going to get fired for $350. I can't. We could barely do that. So there's no way I could do $325. What happens? I lose a deal because I screwed it up. I went too low. I can't do that, right? What I should have done was I should have went to that guy at $390 and then dropped down to $350 with. So basically, what you're telling me is that if I could do $350 right now, you do the deal. See what I mean? So that's my fault, though, not the prospect's fault. That's my problem. I screwed that up from the beginning. All right. And you have to be aware of that so you don't do it again. And it happens all the time. Like I said, I use this every day and I screw it up every day. And you're going to screw it up every day too. That's just part of the sales game. We're never going to close 100% of the people because we are not perfect. All right. So you guys understand it? It's pretty basic, right? I mean, it's all you're going to do is say these words, like literally word for word. I type things as I say them. So when I'm using this, I say, so basically what you're telling me is that, and just so we're on the same page, if I can do whatever the objection is, right? That's what whatever means there. Then you do the deal right now. Is that right? Okay. So you're literally going to read this off a piece of paper. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this. This method can be used to close any qualified prospect on any deal at any time. What you're learning here is a life skill that's used in business. Okay, you can use it. You use it in business all the time. I use it in business all the time. You can use it on anything, on anyone, at any time. I'll give you an example. A couple of examples. My daughter's 9, and I'm extremely lucky because she goes to bed at 9 o'clock at night. And I literally, at this point, I don't even have to tell her. It's amazing. It's not me. I didn't do anything special. I just got really, really lucky, and she's just a really good kid. Like, she doesn't give me any problems about anything. Very respectful, and I'm not bragging. I mean, she just is, and wasn't my doing. It was just, she's just turned out to be a good kid somehow. So 9 o'clock at night, I don't have to say, it's 9 o'clock, shut everything off, go to bed. She's just like, oh, Dad, it's 9, I'm going to bed now. Good night. Gives me a kiss, goes to bed. But let's say she's not like that, right? A lot of kids aren't like that. Most kids, I wasn't like that when I was a kid. Let's say she's not like that. It's 9 o'clock, you got to go to bed. Shut everything off, go upstairs, go to bed. But I'm thirsty. Okay, so basically what you're telling me is that, and just so we're on the same page here, if I give you a drink of water before you go to bed, you'll drink the water right now and you'll go to bed. Is that right? But I'm hungry. Okay, so if I gave you a drink of water and, half of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then you'll go to bed. Is that right? You know, it's the same process. Okay, it's the same process. Now, obviously, if you're talking to a 9-year-old, you may have to adjust your wording a little bit. You don't want to say, just so we're on the same page. You might not want to say that, right? But the point is that the process is exactly the same. I walk into a bar, I meet a girl. We hit it off, we talk a little bit, we like each other, we're joking around, she buys me a drink, I buy her a drink, we hang out, talking, we're laughing, we're giggling, whatever, okay? So I say to her, hey, let's go out to eat or something. Let's get out of here and let's go somewhere else where it's more quiet. Let's get a cup of coffee, whatever, right? Let's go back to your house, go back to my house, watch a movie, whatever it is. I want to leave that place so we could talk more because it's a bar, it's loud, and I just want to go hang out somewhere else so that it's more quiet and we can have a conversation. She says, oh yeah, that sounds really good. The problem is my friend is here with me and I got to bring her home. Okay, so basically what you're telling me is that, and I'm not trying to be a creep here, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. My friend is here too. So if my friend can bring your friend home, we're good to go. Is that right? Because I can set that up right now. My friend will bring your friend home. That's totally cool. We'll go down the street. We'll hit Starbucks. We'll have a cup of coffee. We'll just talk and whatever. Does that sound good? Same process, right? Same exact process. Yeah, it sounds good. I'll go back to your house and watch some Netflix. Problem is, I don't know where you live, and I feel a little uncomfortable. So basically what you're telling me is that, just so we're on the same page, if I pulled my house up on Zillow right now, you saw the address, you saw the backyard, did the bird's eye view, the lot lines, everything else, you knew exactly where it was, and you felt comfortable with it, then we could go back right now. Is that right? Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is. The process is always the same. All we're doing is overcoming the biggest obstacle. And what you have to understand, if this sounds unbelievable right now, what you have to understand is that you're using this at a point where people are already sold on the idea. Number one, they already understand they can pay for it. Number two, and they already understand that they can make a decision. Number three, okay? If you're missing one of those three things, not only can you not use this method, you can't sell to them. Regardless of what you're going to use, you can't sell to them. You can't do a presentation if those three things are not checked off first. You're wasting your time. Because what's going to happen is even if you kill it in the presentation, there is no way you're going to be able to close that deal if one of those three things are missing. All right? You have somebody who walks in. I know I hate to use the car example over and over and over again, but it just works so well in so many different instances that I use it all the time. Somebody walks into a BMW dealership. You work there. You're a salesperson. You know that they're a multimillionaire, right? You know it. Somehow you know it. I don't know how. You know it, okay? And you also know for a fact, I know nothing about BMWs, but let's say there's a BMW that costs $100,000 and it's a beautiful car. You know for a fact that person loves the BMW, the $100,000 BMW. They love it, and they're a multimillionaire. Do you think you're going to be able to sell that person a car? I want you to think about that, and I want you to answer. Write it down on a piece of paper, think about it in your head, whatever. What are your chances of selling that person a car? Remember, they're worth millions of dollars, multimillionaire. They absolutely love, it's been the person's lifelong dream to own this $100,000 BMW. You're a salesperson. What are your chances of closing the deal? The answer is you don't know. Because I could say that person's 12 years old and he's a billionaire's son, right? The person has no legs. The person's blind, right? It might not all be there. You have to make sure that all three are there. Now, if I said to you, they're a multimillionaire, they love the $100,000 BMW, it's been their lifelong dream to buy one, and they're 30 years old and single, and they come into your dealership, what are the chances of closing that deal? Like 90%, unless you screw it up, right? Like 90% of the time, you're going to get that deal done, okay? So, again, I hate to keep saying this over and over again, but it's very, very important. Qualified prospects only. If I walk into that bar and I talk to that girl and she's married, not a qualified prospect, right? In that instance. If I walk into that bar and, let me try to think of another example. Again, once I start boxing myself in, it's hard. If I walk into that bar and let's say the girl is, I don't know, maybe she lives in another state or she can't speak English, right? That's a great thing. It's going to be hard for me it's not a qualified prospect. I can't communicate with her, right? There's no authority established there. There's no ability, right? The ability is gone. I'm not able to do it. I can't physically do it. I can't communicate with that person. So qualified prospects are the key. If the person is qualified and you use this tactic on them over and over and over and over again with every objection that they give you, it's only going to last 2 or 3 objections because they're giving you real ones. They're real stumbling blocks in the buying purchase for them. They're real problems. They're real hangups for them. If you are able to overcome them, they will buy from you. You don't have to use all sorts of trickery. All you have to do is simply overcome the stumbling blocks in the buying process that they're having. Whatever that is, just overcome it if you can, and you will be fine. If you can't overcome it, then again, I'm going to say you probably don't have a qualified prospect with you, right? So basically what you're telling me is that, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. If I can sell my $10,000 consulting package for $500, you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? Does that make any sense whatsoever? No. Is that my problem that I can't sell that deal? Yeah, because that prospect is not qualified for my thing. If they can only afford $500 a month, that's my problem, not theirs. I should have known that the tanning salon can't afford 10 grand. If I'm sitting with a tanning salon, I'm a moron. If I charge 10,000, now if I charge 500 a month, I could sit with a tanning salon. But if I charge 10,000 a month, I can't because they're not qualified people. Right? 90% of your sales issues are not sales issues at all. They're prospecting issues. You're talking to the wrong people. If you talk to the right people and you use this model, your closing ratio will literally quadruple overnight without having to do anything else. Just use these words. Same presentation, same open, same qualification. Use these words after the trial close, and you will, I'm telling you, 3-4 times the closing rate overnight by just using these words, okay? You have to use it with caution, though. And the reason why I tell you that is because once you get good at this, you can start to close unqualified people very, very easily, okay? You can start to make things seem so logical and so emotionally right that you can get the guy who can't afford the $400 a month car payment, make him believe that he can squeeze into it, right? He starts saying things like, well, yeah, you know, I know the $400 thing is a little bit tight for you and you were expecting to pay $250 a month, but let's do a little math. You bring lunch to work or do you buy lunch, right? You buy coffee in the morning or you make it at home? If you start taking away coffee and lunch from someone so they can afford a car, they can't afford it, right? Now, can you close that deal? Yes. Have I closed deals like that? Yes. Is it the right thing to do? It's kind of the buyer's decision to make that move, right? You're helping them along. I don't really think it's that ethical, to be honest with you. But if they make the decision to buy the car based off of that or the house or whatever, that's kind of on them. I'm a big personal responsibility guy. It's kind of on them, right? Is it your fault for pushing them in it? Yeah, you got to live with that. There's no doubt about that. If that car gets repoed in 6 months, yeah, obviously, right? You got to live with that. But you gave them all the information. You didn't lie to them. You gave them all the information. You did your job. You moved the car, right? Or you sold the house, or you closed the mortgage, or whatever it is. Okay? When I say this can be used to close people that should not be closed on your offer, when I say that this can be used to sell people on things they really cannot afford, if you're having trouble believing me, think back to the 2007 mortgage crisis. This is all we did. And I was in that business and not in 2007, but I left right before the big crash. But when I left the business, banks started to, show up less and less, and they were getting, they were kind of shutting down a little bit, and everything was slowing down a little, and things were starting to tighten up, and we knew it was coming. We didn't know when, but we knew it was coming. It was 2005, mid-2005. I left the business, went into the car business at that point. But this is how that happened. Right? What we were doing was we were taking people that couldn't afford houses or refis or whatever we were doing, and we were making them believe that they could by saying to them, they say, oh, my income is a little low for what we're trying to do here. So basically what you're telling me is that, and just so we're on the same page, if I could find a bank that will approve this loan with the income that you have, same payment, same rate, all that stuff, then you'll do the deal right now. Is that right? Sure. I mean, why not? If the bank will approve it, I mean, I might as well. Sure. I mean, I'm refining my house. I'm getting a lower rate, and I'm cashing out $75,000. I'm getting a $75,000 check. Why wouldn't I do it? Right? If you can find the bank, that's great. But I just think, according to the banks that I've seen, my income is a little bit low. So I'm doing the same thing over and over again. That person, in all reality, should not be sold that deal. Okay? So you have to take personal responsibility for what you're doing, and you have to make sure you're only selling to people who, number one, need your product or service and can use it and can benefit from it. Number two, they really, truly can afford it. And number three, they have the authority to make the purchase.